All right, and we are live. What's up, everybody? It's me. It's your boy, Glen, aka Glenn Dude Cry, aka the cream cheese machine that likes to please. That doesn't sound right. Aka Mr. Bunions, aka the pineapple. Good enough? All right, so we are doing something a little different today. I'm gonna try it out, see how it goes. Hey, what's up, Dave? How's it going? So I am going to be doing maybe this a limited tier list for the upcoming Strixhaven set. So it's kind of like I see some people grading cards. I'm going to be doing a tier list for all the rarities. So one tier list for commons, one tier list for uncommons, and another tier list for rares and mythics and bonus sheet cards. So that's the plan for today. How you doing, Dave? Doing well? I got my tier list up. Look at this. Hey, it's up, Cookie. I'm doing something diff today, Cooks. Doing something diff. Whatever, Nightfall. Haha, joke's on you. I don't have the chat on the screen this time, so no one can see you booing me. Take that. I do have quite the headache today, so I might not be as energetic as I usually am, but we'll see how it goes. So I am going to be doing a tier list for the upcoming set for limited. That's what's on the docket today. So we're going to be doing that. We did say it out loud, though. Touche. But yeah, we're trying something different. I want to see how this goes. See if people like it. Probably gonna put this on YouTube. See how the masses respond. But I see a lot of content creators in the Magic space doing just regular grades on cards. I don't want to see anybody doing tier lists for each rarity. So we're gonna try that. All right. So first up, we got Spirit Mascot. He's a 2 mana, red and a white. Whenever one or more cards leave your graveyard, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Dun, dun, dun. So I already have him down here. So this seems just okay to me. Actually, it seems pretty decent. So it starts off as a 2/2, just a bear. If you trigger it one time, you're feeling pretty good. A 2 mana 3/3 is not bad. And the deck that it goes in should be able to do that pretty easily. So let's see. Usually makes the deck. It's between always makes the deck or usually makes the deck. I'll say usually makes the deck. There's a chance that the plan fails. You don't have enough cards for it to reliably get big enough to justify. I think it's a pretty decent card, though. If I had to grade it, I'd give it like I don't know, C. Maybe C plus range. All right. Let's move on to the next one. I've never done a tier list before, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. But all right, so next up is Pest Mascots. So let's copy that, stick it in. I'm just going to copy it one at a time. I feel like that would be easier. And I can show you guys the cards while I'm doing it. So Pest Mascot is a Golgari 3-drop, 1 green black for trample. And whenever you gain life, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Seems pretty good. Green black is a life gain deck. I think that's always just going to make the deck in the green black, or yeah, in the green black archetype, right? Starts off as a 2/3, but if you trigger it at one time, you're feeling good, and it should be pretty easy to trigger. There's a lot of stuff that gains life. Let me see. Although I'm just going to put usually makes the deck, right? I can maybe see this always making the deck. This is a good payoff. It having trample's pretty nice. Shoot. Let me see. I think I do like it a little bit more than this guy. The trigger's easier, and it's got trample, so it scales well. All right. Next up, we got Inkling Mascots. So it's a black and a white. Orzhov. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell that targets a creature, this creature gains flying until end of turn, so Veil 1. This one I'm not as impressed by. Like, it doesn't grow. The payoff is alright, surveilling's like a third of a card, a quarter of a card worth of value. And getting flying, I guess, is okay, but I feel like you're not going to be able to trigger it every turn that easily, because some turns you're going to want to just play creature spells and not play any instants and sorceries. So I think this one might be just all right. Makes the deck half the time. I don't think it's that great of a payoff for the Silver Quill archetype. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna stick by it. It's just all right. Okay, so next we got Grapple with Death. It's a 3 mana, 1 green black. For sorcery, destroy target artifact or creature, gain 1 life. This card is great. It's a cheap removal spell, kills whatever you want to kill, kills the biggest threat on the board, and it triggers the synergies. I think this is going to be a top common. Yeah, I mean, 3 mana, kill whatever you want, trigger all your life, gain payoff, seems really good to me. It's in contention for best common of each color. That's going to include multicolor, so I'm going to throw a multicolor card up there, but for now, it's in the top common range. All right. Up next, we got Fractal Mascot. So it's 4 green-blue. So it's a Simic creature, Fractal Elk. It's got trample, and when this creature enters, tap target creature an opponent controls, put a stun counter on it. Seems... I actually kind of like this card. 6/6 trample's huge. It coming in, putting a stun counter is going to give you a pretty nice tempo advantage. Especially because it means there's going to be a creature your opponent controls that's not going to be able to block when this attacks on the following turn. So I think I want to give this usually makes the deck. There's a chance you're going to be a little too heavy on expensive cards and you're not going to want to put it in, but I do like this card. Let's see. All right. Moving on. Elemental Mascot, I think, is kind of correct. So it's a 3-drop, 1 blue-red for a creature elemental bird. And it's got Opus. Oh, it's got Flying Vigilance and Opus. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. If 5 or more mana was spent to cast this spell, which is the whole Opus thing, if you spend 5 mana, it does stuff. You exile a top card of your library. You may play that card until the end of your next turn. So it's a great source of card advantage. You're going to have a lot of ways to spend 5 mana in blue and red. There's like a lot of creatures that come with 5 mana prepared spells. There's stuff like Visionary's Dance that has like, it's kind of like a Moto spell. So it can be expensive, it can be cheap. So I think, yeah, Flying Vigilance 1/4 is an alright body, but it'd give you card advantage throughout the game. Like, this is going to scale really well into the late game. I'm going to say this is a top common. I really like this card. I think I like it more. I think I do like it more than the kill spell. Which is a way. Is there a way to like zoom in on these? I don't think there is. I've never done a tier list before. All right, and I think I like. Yeah, this is probably in the right order. I do like you more than the 6-drop. Okay, moving on. So we got Bogwater Lumerette. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So it's a 2-drop, green and black, for a creature, Spirit Frog. And whenever this creature or another creature you control enters, you gain 1 life. I think this card is also quite good. It's going to be a key synergy piece for the Golgari deck. Or I forget what it's called. Witherbloom deck. So I know it's always making the deck for sure. Is it a top common, though? I don't know if it's quite top common range, but it's going to be a really good synergy piece. And I think I like it more than the trampoline guy. Actually, I do wonder if I should put you like down here. Usually makes the deck, because there might be times when you don't really get there with life gain synergy. Yeah, let's do that. Actually, I'm gonna put you down here. Ugh. All right, moving on. So next up is Terrafractal. So it's a Simic card, X blue green, Dinosaur Fractal. It's got flying, and when this creature enters with X +1/+1 counters on it, when this creature enters, you gain 2 life. This seems, let's see, this creature enters with X +1/+1 counters on it. When this creature enters, you gain 2 life. Is this good? It scales with the game. There's an X +1/+1 counters on it. Enters, you gain 2 life. Okay, so let's see. You can't play it for just 2. It'll die. You have to play it for at least 3. If you play it for 3, it's a 2/1 flyer that gains you 2 life. That's pretty bad. If you go to the late game, though, let's say you pay 5 mana, X equals 3. It'll be a 4/3 flyer that gains you 2 life. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this. It's nice that it kind of fills whatever slot on the curve you need, but it's a bit understated. Gaining 2 is kind of nice, but this is definitely going to be just all right. Makes the deck half the time card. I think I like it worse than the Silver Quill. Catching Pokemon, nice. All right, so next up we got Wilt in the Heat. So it's 2 in Boros colors, 2 red white for an instant. It costs 2 less to cast if one or more cards left your graveyard this turn. That's pretty good. And Wilt in the Heat deals 5 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. This card's great. That's really good. If it didn't have this clause, it would still be fine. But sometimes you're going to be able to double spell and cast this card, get a huge tempo advantage. I like it a lot. You're never cutting this card from your deck. I think I'm going to say this is a top common. Definitely always makes the deck. The question is, do I like it better than these two guys? Oh, you kind of Inkay. Congratulations. I think... No, I think I like the Skullgari kill spell a little better. It's close, though. This sometimes costing 2 mana is really nice. And that's like the whole thing. Like the whole thing is exiling stuff from the yard, so it should be pretty easy to do. For now, I'll leave it behind. Behind Grapple with Death. Alright, and then next up, we got Visionary's Dance. So this is a 7 mana, 5 blue-red for a sorcery. Create 2 3/3 blue and red elemental creature tokens with flying. That's okay. And then you pay 2, discard this card. Look at the top 2 cards of your library. Put one of them into your hand and the other into your graveyard. I actually do like this card quite a bit. It being a cheap thing to do in the early game, and then a decent expensive thing to do in the late game, triggering all your opus stuff. Seems pretty good to me. Let's see. And yeah, I mean, late in the game, 2 3/3 flyers is like nothing to sneeze at. It's pretty good. So I think, let me think. I mean, I think this always makes the deck, right? Could be in the top of the usually makes the deck tier. I could see some cases of you cutting this. This one's tough, actually. Let me think. I mean, it being like a modal spell is pretty handy. Are you always playing this in your blue-red deck? I'm gonna leave it here for now. But I could see this always making the deck. Alright, so next up, Stadium Tidal Mage. Whenever this creature enters or attacks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. That's just it doesn't really synergize much with what Izzet is doing in this set, but it's just a solid card. 4/4. When it enters, you draw. If you do, discard. There was a card in Tarkir Dragonstorm that was 3 colors for a 4/3. And when that entered, you drew a card and discarded a card. And that was one of the better commons in the set. And also, you would often play it even if you could only cast it for 4. Because it had the hybrid option of like, you know, two in a color or whatever. So I think this one's pretty good. I think it's going to be one of the better commons in this set. Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if it always makes your deck, though. This might be another usually makes your deck card. I think I like it better. Do I like this better than Visionary's Dance? I think I do. Maybe not though. I do like Visionary's Dance. For now, I'm gonna leave them both right here. They usually make the deck tier. Could be an argument to be made that they go in the always make the deck, but no, we'll see. I'll adjust the list as we progress. But all right, next up we got a Orzhov card, 2 white/black. So it's a sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. The player discards that card. Put 2 1/1 counters on up to 1 target creature. I think this seems kind of bad. There was a version in the OG Strixhaven that was just white/black, this effect, but he got 1 counter instead, and that card was fine. And this just seems a lot worse than that. Like, paying 2 extra mana for 1 more counter is not worth the trade-off. So I think I'm going to put this... I think I'm going to put this... The first card that goes in, something went wrong, this is in the deck. I don't think this is a very good card. I don't think it's so bad that you should never put it in the deck. But I would recommend just trying to not play it, if possible. Alright, so next up, we got 2-drop, white/red, Pursue the Past, sorcery, you gain 2 life, you may discard a card. If you do, draw 2 cards. This seems pretty good, actually. I like this card. It's also got flashback for 2, a red and a white. So for 4 mana, you can flash it back. I think the flashback makes this pretty good. It's putting cards in the yard, so you discard a card, putting cards in the yard for the white-red synergies. Lorehold synergies. I gotta remember the names of the 2 color pairs. So yeah, it helps with the Lorehold synergies of putting stuff in the yard and exiling them. It exiles itself to trigger the synergies. I think this is a really good, just bread and butter. I think you're probably always playing this. You're always playing at least 1 copy of this, I feel like. It getting you 2 life is also pretty nice. Yeah, I feel like this just seems like a really good card. You gain 2 life. Getting 2 life is huge on this kind of effect. Because it's not affecting the board, but gaining life kind of offsets that a little bit. Yeah, I think I like this card a lot. I'm putting always makes a deck. Alright, next up, it's 3-drop. 1 white and black for creature, orc, warlock. Got vigilance. And when this creature enters, surveil 2. That just seems pretty decent. It's a solid creature. It doesn't really synergize with what Silver Quill is doing, but just a good creature on rate. 3 mana for 3/3 vigilance, surveil 2. Surveilling 2 is kind of like half a card, so you get a bit of value off of it. I think this just usually makes the deck. Let's see. I think I like it better than you. Maybe I don't. I don't know. It doesn't really have any synergies. So maybe it's at the bottom that usually makes the deck tier. That seems fine to me. Okay. All right, next up, we got Embrace the Paradox. So it's an instant, 5 mana, 3 green and blue. For, let's see, it says draw 3 cards. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. This being an instant is pretty nice. You can hold up other interaction. If your opponent doesn't do anything too scary, you can just draw 3 cards and ramp. 5's a lot, though. I do foresee a solid teamer deck in this format where there's a lot of like green blue X spells to help get to Opus. So that might be a pretty decent deck to build. Blue, red, green. But this one's pretty all right. If the format is fast, it might be kind of bad. But I think, hey, what's up, Bowser? I'm grading. I'm doing a tier list for the upcoming Magic the Gathering set that's going to come out next week. So I think this. I'll put this at the top of just all right. Makes the deck half the time. We got to kind of see how the format plays out. If it's slow enough, this would be pretty decent. This might be in the usually makes the deck tier, but for now, I'm not super duper confident. There's a lot of ways to get card advantage in the set. That's not just a straight draw spell. There's like stuff with prepared spells. They give you 2-for-1s, things like that. So I'll put it right there. It seems fine. Okay, so we're just doing commons today. Fire, thank you, thank you. I'm trying something new, you know, see if people like it. I don't know. We'll find out. All right, so now I'm gonna do colorless cards last. So let's go up to let's go Wooburg order. Wooburg. It's hard to say that. Get out of here, ad. All right, so we're gonna start with Shattered Acolyte. I'm gonna start with white. So it's a 2-drop, 1 and a white. It's got lifelink. Got to experiment, brother. That's right. That's right. That's what I'm trying. So it's 1 and a white, dwarf warlock with lifelink, and it's got 1 mana, colorless, sack this creature, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Seems fine. I mean, 2/2 lifelink is usually pretty decent and limited. There's not really any synergies though. This has with the other color pairs. I'm gonna guess if you go in if you do like a Abzan deck, it can help trigger the lifelink stuff, but yeah, it's not in the life gain deck colors. So I think this is just all right. Makes the deck half the time. I think I put it behind the gold cards. All right, and then we got Eager Glyph Mage. Oh, you did a Whatnot show this morning, first ever character break, and sold out of 120 spots. It was awesome. Nice, dude. Hell yeah. Good to hear. Sold out of 120 spots. That's a lot. That's a lot. Congrats. All right. So next we got Eager Glyph Mage. 3 and a white, 4-drop creature, cat cleric. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 white and black inkling creature token with flying. That seems really good to me. Seems really good. It doesn't really synergize too much with the color pair stuff going on, but there was what was it? What's Ixalan? Lost Caverns of Ixalan. There was a 3/2 that made a 1/1 that was pretty good. Although the 3/2 had flying and the 1/1 was just a creature, I still think this is pretty nice. Usually, a creature that makes 2 bodies is overperforms in sets. So I'm going to put this in usually makes the deck. I think this is a good card. I might put this above some of this stuff. Let's stick it right here. Yeah, I like that. I don't want to say always makes the deck. I think there's a world where you could maybe cut it if your deck is kind of cracked, but I think you're usually putting this card in your deck. All right. And then we got next up, Rapier Wits. 2-drop. 1 and a white. Actually, let's see. He said, thank you, brother. Got to get you in there sometime, man. 3 lucky people won 70 boxes for $2. Shoot. All right. Yeah, I gotta join those. I like free stuff. That sounds fun. All right. So next up, who doesn't? That's true. That's true. Next up, we got Rapier Wits. So 1 and a white, instant. Tap target creature. If it's your turn, put a stun counter on it. And draw a card. Interesting. So this is meant to go with Silver Quill, the white-black deck. It triggers the repartee synergies. Is it good? Tap a creature. If it's your turn, put a stun counter on, draw a card. It does cycle itself and synergizes with the Orzhov deck. I think it's decent. There could definitely be better. I haven't really looked at the complete set yet. I feel like there could be better ways to target your creatures with stuff or target creatures with things. So I think for now, I'm going to put this at the just alright, makes the deck half the time. Could be better though. We'll see. I mean, this could be better than I'm thinking. If it's your turn, you put a stun counter on it. So it cycles itself, taps something down. I do kind of like it. I mean, well, I guess no, because it really only goes in the white-black deck. So a lot of times it's not going to make the deck. It only goes in white-black. I guess I'll keep it down here. That's fine. All right, next up we have Stone Docent. No idea. It's a creature, 1 and a white. It's a Spirit Chimera. It's a 3/1, and it has the ability exile this card from your graveyard. You gain 2 life, surveil 1. Activate only as a sorcery. Ooh. Ooh. I like this. Yeah, I like this a lot. For the white-red deck, this is really nice. A cheap way to enable the synergies. And it starts, I mean, a 2-mana 3/1's fine. It's gonna, a lot of times it'll trade up with a 3-drop. And then you get value after that. You gain 2 life, surveil 1. That's pretty good. I'm gonna put this in the usually makes the deck tier. I'll put this pretty high. I do like this card quite a bit. I'll put it pretty high up. It's a 2-drop. It's cheap. It's got high power. It's got synergy for the late game. Yeah, pretty good card. Hey, nice. Your journey begins. You got an Oshawott. Congratulations. All right, so next up we have Rehearsed Debater. It's a 3-drop, 3/3. Jin Bard. It's got Vigilance. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it targets a creature. This creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Seems kind of filler to me. I mean, at most, it's like best case, it'll be a 5/5 every once in a while. Usually, it's going to be a 3/3 or a 4/4 Vigilance. I think there's just going to be better cards to put in your deck. This one's just all right. It's not in the something went wrong if this is in the deck tier, but it's going to be at the bottom of just all right. Makes the deck sometimes. I do wish there was a way to enter full screen. What does that mean? Oh, shoot. Let's undo that. Okay, anyway. Wait, what's this guy? Oh, that's the lifelink guy that, okay. Can't really read the cards after I stick them in here, so. Which is a way to zoom in on them. Alright, moving on. We got Owlin. Thanks, man. LMAO. Snobby would have been cooler. Snivy. Oh. I was like, what the heck's Snobby? Alright, I wouldn't doubt if that's a Pokemon, though. There's so many Pokemon names. I don't even know them all anymore. But, alright, so next up, we have Owlin Historian. It's a 3-drop, flying, 2/3. When this creature enters, surveil 1. When one or more cards leave your graveyard, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. So it ETBs with a kind of okay effect. Another filler card. Let's see. Actually, I'm putting... This is where the filler cards go. So yeah, this is a filler card. Probably stick it below the multicolored stuff. I'll stick it right here. Yeah, it's fine. It's alright. I mean, you'll play it sometimes. Interjection. Alright, so it's a 1-drop instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains first strike until end of turn. I mean, it's decent in the Silver Quill decks, but, you know, I'm not a huge fan of combat tricks. So, it's not embarrassing enough to put on the bottom tier, but it's like bottom of just alright, makes the deck half the time tier. Alright, next up, we have Honorbound Page. So it's a 4-drop, 3/3, Cat Cleric, first strike. This creature enters prepared, and the prepared spell, Forum's Favor, 1 mana for a sorcery. Target creature gets +1/+0 and gains flying until end of turn. Interesting. So, decent in the Silver Quill deck that wants to target creatures. 4 mana for a 3/3 first strike isn't great. So the baseline's not super good. And it can't keep getting prepared, so it only gives the creature flying 1 time. I think this is just another filler card. I'll stick it over and over here, I guess. Not super great. Alright, next up. Elite Interceptor. It's a 1-drop for white. It enters prepared. You can pay 2. You may tap or untap target creature, draw a card. I kind of like this. Another card's good for the Silver Quill deck. It's cheap. It kind of just cycles itself. You can view it as like a 3-mana 1/2. When it enters, draw a card, tap something, untap something. It's pretty decent. I like this card. The fact it can cycle itself is pretty nice. It replaces itself. I mean, so I think this usually makes the deck. Put it maybe above you. Yeah, seems fine. Alright. And then we got another 1-cost spell. It's a sorcery. Dig Site Inventory. So it says, put a 1/1 counter on target creature control. It gains vigilance until end of turn. It's got flashback for 1. I mean, so it can go in the Silver Quill deck. It can also go in the Lorehold deck, the red-white one, because it exiles itself from the yard. I think this is actually semi-decent. Does it usually make the deck? I'm gonna put it, it's got enough going on. I'm gonna put it at the very bottom of usually makes the deck. Yeah, that seems right to me. All right. Moving on, we have Ascendant, Dust Speaker. He's 4 and a white, 5-drop for an Orc Cleric. It's a 3/4 with flying. When this creature enters, put a 1/1 counter on another target creature you control. At the beginning of combat on your turn, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. Interesting. All right, so how do we feel about a 5-mana 3/4 flyer that when it enters, you put a counter on another creature? That's decent. I'd say it's filler. So the upside of exiling a card from your graveyard every turn probably bumps it up like half a grade. I'd say maybe like the first half of this is like a C, C minus. With the second half, it's like a C, C plus for the Lorehold deck. I still think it's a 5-drop. You can't play too many 5-drops in your deck. It's kind of clunky. It does help trigger your synergy every turn, but it's just all right. I'll put it somewhere. I'm gonna put it like right there in the just all right. Makes the deck half the time. All right. Moving on, we have a Johnny's Response. So it's a 5-mana instant. It costs 3 less to cast. If it destroys a tapped creature, destroy target creature. I feel like this is usually okay. I think it might be a little better in this set. Because it triggers Silver Quill synergies. And also, I think the white-black deck is going to be the more aggressive deck, and the white-red deck is going to be more mid-rangey. So it's actually going to be decent in the white-red deck as well, because if you're doing a more like a slower mid-range deck, you're going to have the opportunity to kill a tapped creature more often. And you want to... I think the white-red deck wants to make it to the late game because they have a bunch of synergies of exile and stuff in the yard. So I think this is pretty good. Solid removal. I think it's going to be better than usual. It usually is. I'll say usually makes the deck. Bottom tier of usually makes the deck. Seems fine. Okay, so that's all the white commons. Moving on to blue. All right, so we got Procrastinate. So it's an X in the blue for a sorcery. Tap target creature, put twice X stun counters on it. I don't like this. Let's see. Well, let's see. All right, so you pay 3 mana. You tap one of your opponent's creatures for what? 4 turns? That's kind of close to just killing it. But it doesn't get rid of ETBs. Or not ET. It doesn't get rid of static effects. Your opponent has the opportunity to bounce it and replay it. Leaving stuff on the board in this set might be kind of bad with Silver Quill. Well, there's always gonna be targets, I guess. I don't love this card. I think it's kind of bad. The question is it so bad that it goes into something went wrong? This is in the deck category. I might need to make a new category. Like you'll play it every once in a while. Yeah, actually, let's make a new category. Shoot, what did I just do? Oh no, something. Oh no. Shoot. Okay, so you go up. Always makes a deck. Oh, just all right. Makes the deck half the time. Shoot. Okay. Okay. I don't know how these work, so let's stick. All right. So let's add. I'll add a new category. Add a row above. will sometimes, whoops, shoot, ugh. Sometimes be correct to play this card. Because I could see some instances you're like I don't know, you're trying to really make it to the late game, you need something to stall at the board. I'm not a huge fan, but I'll put it in that tier. I guess it also can trigger Opus. It's an X spell that triggers Opus. There's also some X spell synergy in the set. Alright, I like it in this tier then. It will sometimes be correct to play this card. Do I want to put something else in that tier? It will sometimes be correct to play this card. Nah, whatever. Alright. Moving on. Banishing Betrayal. Return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Surveil 1. 2 mana for a bounce spell, even if it's a non-land permanent, is not really great. You want to do it for 1 mana to be able to gain tempo, because they still have the card that can replay it. 2 is a lot. It's like double the price you want to pay for this effect. So I think hand surveil 1. I'm going to say something went wrong if this is in your deck. I feel like you shouldn't play this card unless you're desperate for interaction, and if that's the case, something went wrong. So let's put that down there. Alright, next up we have Deluge Virtuoso. It's a 3-drop blue creature, 2 and a blue, human wizard. When this creature enters, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. If 5 or more minutes have been casted, this creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn instead. So we've been getting these 3 mana 2/2 tap a thing, put a stun counter on it type creatures the last few sets. They've always been pretty bad. This one has the upside of sometimes being bigger. I think that makes it not embarrassing. This is gonna be another, it will sometimes be correct to play this card. I don't know if it's so embarrassing that something went wrong. This is in the deck. It's like a Frost Lynx with prowess, like better prowess. I don't know if, let me think. I almost want to rename this tier. Here, I'm gonna put it begrudgingly. Begrudgingly. Is that how you spell begrudgingly? Playable. But I'd rather not. Let's do that. Okay. Next up, we got Muse's Encouragement. So it's 5 mana, 4 and a blue for an instant. So this will trigger Opus. Keep that in mind. You can make a 3/3 blue and red elemental creature token with flying at instant speed. Surveil 2. It's fine. It's got enough going for it that I don't mind playing it in blue-red. So I think this is going to be just all right. I don't know. It being a token makes it a bit worse. You can just bounce it and they get rid of it. You make a 3/3 at instant speed. Surveil 2. I'm going to put it in this tier, actually. Begrudgingly playable, but I'd rather not. Yeah, there's probably going to be better 5-mana spells to play. I will put it above you. I'll put you at the very bottom of this. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to swap back? Flying. No, I think this is all fine. So far, blues commons have been kind of not great. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Next up, we got Textbook Tabulator. So it's 2 and a blue for a creature, Frog Wizard. It's an 0/3. It has increment. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana you spent is greater than this creature's power or toughness, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. And when this creature enters Surveil 2. This seems pretty bad. This is really bad. It's not a great top deck. I mean, you get a Surveil 2, but it's an 0/3. The floor is just like an 0/3 for 3 that Surveils 2 is just a horrible floor. You gotta do work to make it all right. I mean, let me think. So 3 mana for a 1/4 Surveil 2 is still pretty bad. You want this to be a 2/5 before you're happy about it. Yeah, okay. I think this is something went wrong. This is in your deck tier. I don't like this card. I think it's pretty bad. Rip blue, dude. Blue is not looking good so far. All right, next up we got Spellbook Seeker. It's a 4-mana creature, 3/3 flyer, enters prepared. It's got Careful Study. Draw 2 cards and then discard 2 cards. 4-mana 3/3 is not a great stat line. It's pretty understated for the cost. Then you gotta pay an extra. So let's imagine it's a 5 mana, 3 and 2 blue, 3/3. When it enters, draw 2, discard 2. I mean, that's okay. It's not embarrassing, but it's still not great. This goes in, I think, begrudgingly playable, but I'd rather not. Might be at the top of that tier, though. I mean, I don't know. Draw 2, discard 2 does dig pretty deep. Maybe it's better than I'm thinking. Maybe it is just all right. Makes the deck half the time. Let's do that at the bottom of it. All right. So now we got Run Behind. It is 4 mana for an instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast if it targets an attacking creature. Target creature's owner puts on their choice at the top or bottom of their library. This seems pretty good. Usually the 4 mana, put something on top or bottom, is an overperformer. People underrate it, but it performs better than what people think it would. And this is the upside of sometimes costing 3. I like it. It's good. It's solid removal. I'm going to put in usually makes the deck. It's the first blue common to usually make the deck. Where do I like this? I'll put it up here. Although that guy was pretty good, huh? I can't remember what exactly these cards are, because I can't freaking see. I can't see what they say. Wish there was a way to like see the image better. That's all right. Okay, next up, Quick Study. Classic, 2 and a blue. Instant, draw 2 cards. I'm a sucker for card draw. It being instant speed's pretty nice. I'm going to give it a higher grade than I probably should. I mean, it doesn't really trigger any synergies in the set. Doesn't cost 5. It's not going to trigger Opus. I mean, I guess it triggers the minor abilities of Opus. I still think it's pretty decent, though. I'm going to put it at the top at just all right. Makes the deck half the time. There's some decks you're not going to want to play it. All right, next up we got Landscape Painter. It's 1 and a blue. This creature enters prepared. It's a 2/1 Merfolk Wizard. It's got a sorcery attached to it. Vibrant Idea, 4 and a blue. Draw 2 cards. This seems pretty decent. It's a body to play early in the game. Late in the game, you can use it to get card advantage. It is kind of a 3-for-1. Oh, shoot. Whoops. Kind of like a 7-drop. 2/1 when it enters draw 2. If you look at it that way, it's kind of bad. But the fact that you can pay in installments is pretty nice. I like it. I think it's a solid common. I'm going to put it in the bottom of usually makes the deck. Because it also synergizes with the Opus stuff. It's got a 5-mana spell attached to it. Blue-green's going to be able to ramp, most likely, so it can cast this easier. I think it's pretty decent. Yeah, like at the bottom of usually makes the deck. All right, next up, we got Hydro Channeler. It's 2-drop, 1 in a blue. Merfolk Wizard. So it's got the ability, it's a 1/3. It's got the ability to tap, add blue, spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. And then 1, tap, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery spell. We see these kind of creatures a lot. They're usually like filler, sometimes below filler. I think it's got more synergy in this set with all the prepared spells, spells matter stuff going on. I think it's not begrudgingly playable. It's a little better. I'll stick at the bottom of just alright. Makes the deck half the time. I think that sounds about right to me. It does help you fix if you want to do like multicolor shenanigans, multicolor spell stuff, but it doesn't. It also there's converge stuff in this set, but most of the converge stuff is with creatures and not spells. So it doesn't really help with the converge deck that you can build. All right, next up, Essence Scatter, counter target creature spell. We all know Essence Scatter. It's all right. It's decent. Your opponent's deck is going to be mostly filled with creatures, like the majority of it. I'll say it's just all right. You're not going to always run it, but like a more blue tempo controlling deck, you'll want to throw it in there. I'll put it like, I don't know, right here. Decent card. Well, yeah, it's probably higher than that. Essence Scatter is actually pretty good. Maybe I'll stick it way up here. Yeah, I'll stick it above the Quick Study. Okay. All right, one more blue common. Chase Inspiration. So it's a 1 mana instant, cost a blue. Target creature control gets +0/+3 and gains hexproof until end of turn. Don't really like it. It's kind of like whatever, the usual thing they print, the 1 blue instant, a creature gets +1/+1 and gains hexproof and you untap it. That at least lets you ambush block something or win a combat. This doesn't do either of those things. So I think this is something went wrong if I put this in the deck tier. Maybe on the higher. Actually, you're probably at the bottom here. Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't play this card. All right, moving on. 2 black. First one up is Pull from the Grave. It's 2 in a black. For a sorcery, return up to 2 target creature cards from a graveyard to your hand. You gain 2 life. That's interesting. As far as I know, there's no like, I don't think there's a lot of self-mill in this set in black. I mean, I'll have to look at, okay, if there's enough self-mill, this might be pretty decent. If not, this card can be kind of awkward because you won't always have 2 creatures to get back, and you never want to play this for just 1 creature. Getting you 2 life is kind of a decent upside, though, in this kind of effect. There was a, let me see, in Final Fantasy, there was a 3-drop instant that got you 2 creatures back from your yard to your hand, but they had a lot of self-mill in Final Fantasy. So I think, let's see. I think this goes in begrudgingly playable, but I'd rather not. Like at the top of begrudgingly playable. Hmm. I do wonder if I want to change this category name again. Begrudgingly playable, but I'd rather not. That should go. That's how you cycle through full screen. Oh, it's cool. Good to know. Could be, maybe it's like sometimes correct to play this. Could be a category again. Whatever. I'll just keep it there. Okay. Let's move on. Wander off. 3 and a black for an instant. 4 mana. Exile target creature. Seems fine. Seems good. Solid removal. I think you usually will end up playing at least one of these. So let's put in usually makes the deck. Think. Actually, I feel like this might be always makes the deck. I think you should always play one copy of these. I think you usually will play one copy of these. Yeah, so maybe these both go up here. This both solid removal. It'd be weird if you weren't playing, like if you had one, you weren't playing it. Well, I'll stick you like way up here. But I think you're always going to play the 4 mana exile target creature at instant speed. It seems pretty decent. All right. Next up, we got Ulna Alley Shopkeep. So it's 3 mana, 2 and a black for a creature, Goblin Warlock. It's a 2/3, has Menace and Infusion. This creature gets +2/+0 as long as you gained life this turn. This seems bad. I don't like this. The baseline's way too bad. You're not always going to be gaining life. And when you're not, this is just an embarrassing creature. So let's stick this. And something went wrong if I put this in the deck. Bottom tier of that. It's never put me in the deck. It's not that because it's still, it's a creature with stats. So it at least does something. This is usually just for cards that don't do anything or actively hurt you. But yeah, not a good card. I would not recommend playing it. All right, up next. Sneering Shade Rider. So it's 4 and a black for a Vampire Warlock. It's a 3/3. It's got flying. When this creature enters, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. These creatures almost always overperform. The clunky flyer that enters and drains is better than you think it is. I'm gonna stick it in. I don't know if it's quite always makes the deck, but it's gonna be at the top. It usually makes the deck. It's one of the better well, if it's one of the better commons. I wonder if top commons and always makes the deck should just be the same category, because if it always makes a deck, it's a top common. Yeah, maybe I'll just merge these categories. Let's do that. Let's see. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, yeah, I think this is unnecessary. Let's get rid of you. Delete. Yeah. Best common of each color, top commons. Usually makes the deck just alright. Makes like half the time versus playable. Okay, that seems good. I like that. Alright. Man, blue's commons are not great. Does this actually go up here because it's gonna be the best blue common? Maybe I could see you maybe being the best blue common. I'll figure that out at the end. Okay. All right, so next up we have Send in the Pest. Each opponent discards a card. You create a 1/1 black and green pest token with when this attacks, you gain 1 life. This actually seems pretty good. The 2-mana 1/1 black creature that makes your opponent discard is always solid. And this has a little more upside because it synergizes with the Witherbloom archetype. Yeah, this might be in contender for best black common. It's for sure going to be a top common. We'll see, though. All right, next up we have Melancholic Poet. It's 1 and a black for a creature, Elf Bard. It's got Repartee. When you cast an instant or sorcery spell, it targets a creature. Each opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Seems pretty solid for the Silver Quill deck. Like, drains your opponent when you cast spells. I think I want to say this, assuming you put it in Silver Quill, this will be at the bottom of usually makes the deck. It's a 2-drop that can, if it stays alive, it's probably gaining you like, you play it on turn 2, it's going to gain you like at least 4 life throughout the game and drain your opponent for 4, so it seems pretty decent. And then we got Masterful Flourish. Target creature control gets +1/+0 gains indestructible until end of turn. Not a fan of combat tricks. This one is, I mean, it helps you win combat, but I don't love it. I mean, because Silver Quill's a thing, this is better than it would usually be. And the Silver Quill deck, this actually might be pretty decent. So I'm going to say it's at the top of begrudgingly playable, but I'd rather not. But I just take combat tricks, so don't judge me. All right. Moving on. Last Gasp. It's 1 in a black for an instant. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. That's just a solid removal spell. It's going to be great in Silver Quill. It triggers all the abilities. Let's put this at, I think, this is going to be a top common for sure. Stick it among these other black commons. I gotta throw some of these white commons up here probably, but all right. So moving on, we got Cost of Brilliance. It's 2 in a black. Sorcery. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature. Oh, interesting. So it's like a worse combat tutorial? It's combat tutorial that makes you lose 2 life. But it also triggers Silver Quill stuff. So it's got synergy in the set. Whereas I don't think combat tutorial synergized with anything really. It was just a good card. I think this is going to be one of Black's best commons, probably. Combat tutorial is a really good card in Final Fantasy. And this has upside. This has synergy upside. Black, I am liking Black's commons. Call me crazy, but I'm putting like a lot of black commons in the top commons list. Yeah. So far, black's looking impressive, blue's looking very unimpressive. White's looking fine. All right, moving on. We have Cheerful Osteomancer. So it's a creature, 4-drop, 3 in a black, Orc Warlock. It's a 4/2. It enters prepared, and it has Raise Dead. Return target creature card from a graveyard to your hand. I like this card. I like it a lot. Yeah. Let's see. In TMNT, there was the Raptor. It was a 5-drop for a 4/3, so I had a little bit bigger stats, but it had a very similar ability, and it's one of the better commons in the set. I think this is going to be probably as good. It's got the upside of you can pay in installments. Yeah, it seems pretty decent to me. Just it doesn't really synergize with a whole lot, but it just got a good effect on it. I'm gonna say usually makes the deck. Stick it up here. That seems pretty decent to me. All right. Let's see. We got two more black commons. So next up is Burog Banemaker. It is a 1-drop, 1 black. Got Death Touch, already pretty good. This creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Activation cost is 1 and a black. This seems pretty good. It doesn't gain life, doesn't target, doesn't care about targeting, so it doesn't really synergize with anything, but it's just a solid, cheap creature. I think I'm going to put it in usually makes the deck. I'll put it right there. All right. So next up, we have Adventurous Eater. It's a creature, human warlock, 3-drop for a 3/2. It enters prepared, and it has have a bite for its prepared spell. It's a sorcery for 1 black. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. You gain 1 life. Okay, so this is a creature you can't keep preparing for value. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature. So you only have 1 activation for this. I mean, there are a couple ways to re-prepare stuff, but they're not really that good. It does gain you a life for cheap. So I can see this being pretty solid in the Witherbloom decks. Yeah, I mean, it seems all right. It's a 3 mana. So if it was a 4 mana 3/2, when it ETB'd, you put a counter on something and gain a life. Would that be? That sounds a little underpowered, but you can do this in installments, so it makes it better. I think this is just. I'm gonna say this is just all right. But I'll put it at the top of the just all right tier, maybe like right here. It goes well. Like, I'm not sure if you play this outside of Witherbloom. I think it's kind of its only home. So maybe I'll put it a little lower just because of that. Yeah, there's not really any reason to. Well, no, it does go well in Silver Quills. Yeah, actually, no, it's pretty good. I'm put it up higher because it goes well in Silver Quill. It targets something with a spell. Let's put it right here, I think. All right, so black commons are done. Let's move on to red. So we got Heated Argument, 4 in a red for an instant. Heated Argument deals 6 damage to target creature. You may exile a card from your graveyard. If you do, Heated Argument also deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. Interesting. You may exile a card from a graveyard. If you do, not bad. Definitely meant for the Lorehold deck. So it's 5 mana removal plus synergy for Lorehold. Like the 5 mana deal 6 spells are always kind of clunky, and like the removal that you play if you really need removal. This does synergize though. I think it's going to be better than it usually is, but still not like one of the best commons. I guess it's just all right. Makes the deck half the time. I'll put it like right here. Yeah, it seems fine. It kills something, does damage to the opponent, triggers Lorehold, shenanigans. Also triggers Opus too. So it's kind of fine in the Lorehold of the Opus deck. I think it's not as good in the Opus deck because there's a lot of ways. There's like prepared spells that can trigger Opus. You'd probably rather cast. I don't know. It's fine though. It's not begrudgingly playable. All right, next up, Seize the Spoils. 2 in a red For a sorcery, as an additional cost to cast a spell, discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create a treasure token. So it's 1 more mana than it usually costs for this effect. But you get a treasure. I still don't like it. I don't love it. It's I can see this being used for the 5-color deck, the Converge deck, to help splash, but otherwise, I don't see a reason to play this, really. I think it's pretty bad. I think I'll put this into something went wrong. This is in my deck. Well, it's a sorcery, right? Okay, yeah. If it was an instant, I'd be more into it. Being a sorcery is really, this is really clunky. Taking, like, you never want to cast this on turn 3, right? I guess you get a treasure, you can ramp it to a 5-drop, but seems kind of bad. All right. So next up, we have expressive. Actually, let me see here. You are the combat trick. No, that's probably fine. Actually, I almost want to move this to never put in the deck. This just seems like a bad card. Let's do that. All right. Anyway, next up we have Expressive Fire Dancer. It's Opus. You know, I'm not confident enough in myself. I'll put this at the bottom of this. Yeah, okay. All right. Expressive Fire Dancer. 1 in a red. Creature, 2/2, human sorcerer. It's got Opus. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. If 5 or more mana was spent to cast a spell, this creature also gains double strike until end of turn. So it's got prowess, minus the it's got slightly worse prowess, but then if you spend 5 or more mana, it gains double strike. So if you cast a 5-mana spell, this is a 3/3 double striker. I still don't love this. A 2-mana 2/2 prowess is not that great. The double strike upside is also not super, it's fine, I guess. But I think this is pretty begrudgingly playable. Stick it, whatever, I guess. I'll stick it there. Rather not play it. I mean, it's a 2-mana 2/2 though, so I don't think it's something went wrong. This is in the deck, because sometimes you are going to need just 2-mana 2/2s to fill up the curve, so it's not disastrously horrible, but I'd rather stay away from it. Next up, we got Zealous Lorecaster. It is 5 in a red. For a 4/4 Goblin Sorcerer, when this creature enters, return target instant or sorcery card from a graveyard to your hand. Okay. Stats are a little low. 6 mana for a 4/4 is not great, but it does basically draw you a real card when it enters. It's going to be pretty easy to have an instant or sorcery card in your graveyard by the time you have 6 mana. So I do kind of like it. It's clunky though. It reminds me of the 6-drop from Lorne Eclipsed, the 6/5 that basically drew you a card when it entered, but that was a 6/5. This is a 4/4. Okay. I think this is just all right. Bottom tier of just all right. Makes the deck half the time. It's not begrudgingly playable. I kind of like it, but not enough to where it usually makes the deck. All right. Next up, we got Unsubtle Mockery. It's 3 mana for an instant. Unsubtle Mockery that does 4 damage to target creature, surveil 1. Okay. Okay, I'm into it. Let's see. So in EOE, there was a 3 mana instant speed, deal 4. That was, I'd say, like just below par. It was all right, but not the best. It wasn't even, it was like a little below all right. You played it, but you weren't really that happy about it. Having Surveil 1 tacked on is kind of a nice upgrade. I think this usually makes the deck. I think it does. It's going to be bottom tier of usually makes the deck. So Rail 1 is like on a card that is already fine. It's a pretty nice upgrade. Like you'd play this sometimes without the Surveil 1, so tacking that on makes it decent. Yeah, bottom tier of usually makes the deck. Sounds good to me. So next up is Tome Blast. So it's 1 in a red. For a sorcery, Tome Blast deals 2 damage to any target. Flashback for 4 and a red. Okay, I see what they're doing here. So the flashback will trigger the Lorehold stuff and the Opus stuff. I mean, paying 5 mana to deal 2 is not great, though. But it's going to be 5 mana, deal 2, trigger Opus, trigger Lorehold. In the late game, you're probably going to have something out that cares about that. Okay, so it's not an embarrassing card. It's never really it's gonna be rare that it trades up. Sometimes it will, but it is kind of a 2-for-1. I am a sucker for 2-for-1s. Trigger synergies. I think it's either bottom usually makes the deck. Like this card is either really good or just fine. Does this usually make the deck? It's also sorcery. I'm gonna say I'm gonna put it up here just to right, makes the deck half the time. Filler. I could see this being better than I think it is, though. I could see it being worse as well. I don't know. So next up, we got Tackle Artist. It's a 3 in a red for a creature. Orc Sorcerer. It's a 4/3 with Trample. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. If 5 more mana was spent to cast a spell, put 2 1/1 counters on this creature instead. Interesting. Interesting. I think it's bad. It's probably bad. It's a 4-drop, no ETB. Easy to kill. It can, I mean, it having the ability to get counters on it and it having trample, it kind of saves it from being a horrible card. Like, how much better is this than the typical 3 mana 2/2 when you play instant sorcery, you put a counter on a creature? It's a notch better. Like a 4 mana 4/3 trample is like just below rate. 4 mana 5/4 trample is just on rate, and a 4 mana 6/5 trample is above rate. But at that point, you had to play this and cast 2 spells for it to be a good card. So it's kind of slow, clunky. Doesn't give you an ETB. I don't love it. I think it's on the top tier, begrudgingly playable, but I'd rather not. Oh wait, shoot. Yep, let's do that. All right, moving on. We got Strife Scholar. So it's 2 in a red for a 3/2 Orc Sorcerer. It's got Ward, pay 2 life. Okay. It enters prepared. Its prepared spell is Awaken the Ages. 5 in a red, so 6 mana. For a sorcery, create 2/2 red and white creatures, spirit creature tokens. That's actually pretty decent. Maybe. I don't know. It's kind of bad in the early game. 3 mana for a 3/2 is not really going to hold back any attacks. Your opponent can just attack right through it. Your opponent is going to want to kill it because they won't want you to get 2/2s. It triggers Opus. I mean, it is a 3-for-1 in the late game. If this format is slow, this might be pretty decent, but it is kind of embarrassing in the early game. I think it's just all right. Just all right. I'll stick it somewhere in the middle. That's fine. It does give you good value in the late game. Triggers Opus. I could see it being pretty decent in the blue-red decks. In the blue-red deck, it's probably like a little more than decent. I think creatures that give you 5-mana spells attached to them are going to be pretty good to trigger Opus stuff. But in any other deck in the format, this is not going to be that great. So maybe I'll stick it like down here somewhere. That seems fine. Okay. All right, up next we have Rubble Rouser. So it's 2 and a red for a 1/4 dwarf sorcerer. When this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Okay, okay. I do kind of like that. You can tap it, exile a card from a graveyard, add red. When you do, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. Ooh. It kind of already had me on the ETB. And it ramps you, and it exiles cards. That's actually, I like this card. It ramps you, it exiles cards for lore hold, and it pings your opponent too, which is just great upside to an already pretty decent ability. All right. The question is, does this go in decks outside of lore hold? Does this go in blue-red? Maybe. I mean, it makes you go from 3 to 5 mana, potentially, to cast stuff to trigger Opus. Although at that point in the game, are you going to have something in your yard? I don't know. Oh, wait, no, you are, because you're going to discard a card if you do draw a card. That's right. Hang on a second. So it fuels itself to ramp you from 3 to 5. I like this card. I'm a fan. I could be wrong, but I think this is a pretty good card. I'm going to stick this... Oh, shoot. What the heck? I don't want that. Get out of here, Dell. I'm going to stick this in top common range. I think this is going to be one of the top red commons. I think this actually deserves to be higher, too. All right. Moving on. Next up, we have Rearing Embermare. 4 and a red for a 4/5 horse beast. It has reach and haste. Okay. I don't like it. I think this card's not that great. I mean, I guess haste is kind of cool, but it's clunky. I don't know what deck it goes in. Doesn't really synergize with anything. Doesn't trigger Opus. Wait, does it? What? Let me read Opus again. Hang on a second. Where's an Opus card? Yeah, it's got to be instant or sorcery. Okay, yeah. I think this is something went wrong if this is in your deck. I don't think it's that great. I don't know. I don't know the reason for it. I don't know why it's in this. Like, what was it supposed to be doing in this set? Doesn't really have a home. All right, moving on. We have Goblin Glassrite. So it's a goblin. It's 1 and a red for a goblin sorcerer. This creature enters. Oh, it's a 2/2. This creature prepares. My brain's fried. This creature enters prepared, and it comes with the spell Craft with Pride for 1 red. It's a sorcery. Create a treasure token. That's decent. It's a 2/2. So a 3-mana 2/2 that comes in and makes a treasure is, I think, a pretty decent card. And this is better than that, because you can pay in installments. It also helps you fix if you want to do the converge thing. I like it. I think it's a pretty solid card. The only problem I have with it is it doesn't, like, it goes in the converge deck, I guess, but I don't really see the synergy with the other stuff. Doesn't do anything with lore hold. Doesn't do, I mean, I guess it triggers the Opus stuff, like the basic Opus stuff. I still think it's a pretty good card, though. Let's put it... I don't think it's a top common, but it usually makes the deck. All right. Let's see here. Next up, Ancestral Anger. So it's 1 red, a sorcery. Target creature gains trample and gets plus X+0 until end of turn, where X is 1 plus a number of cards named Ancestral Anger in your graveyard. Draw a card. I think this is bad. I think this is quite bad. If this were a white or black card, we might be talking, because it would trigger the Lorehold stuff, the Repetair, whatever it's called, stuff, and then filter itself. But it's not in a deck that cares about that. It's not in a color that cares about that. I guess there is Opus that cares about casting instants or sorceries. I think it's still not good, though. Usually his 1-mana cycling cards aren't that great. Yeah, I'm going to put this in... Something went wrong. At the top of something went wrong if this is in the deck. I can maybe see a world where you'd want to play it, but you probably shouldn't. Maybe if you get like 7 of them, you know, and you're doing the thing, but I don't think it's that great. Okay, so we finished the commons in red. On to green. All right, in the home stretch here, guys. We're doing it. So first up, Studious First Year. It's a green. It enters. It's green for a 1/1 Bear Wizard. It enters prepared, and it comes with the spell Rampant Growth. Sorcery. Search your library for a basic link card. Put the card in the battlefield tapped and shuffle. This card is great. This card is cracked. It's going to be one of the best commons in the set. I feel like very good card. I'm going to put this in top common. And then this is definitely an early contender. Let's see what we got going on here. So best common of each color. Early contender for that. Best common for black. Let me see. That's a good question. I don't know what the best common in black's going to be. -3/-3 spell. I kind of like this discard spell. All right. And then let's just keep going here. We'll figure it out later. So next up, we have Oracle's Restoration. So it's a single green for a sorcery. Target creature you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. You draw a card and gain 1 life. All right, so this is meant for the Witherbloom deck. Gain a life, cycles. I do actually kind of like it. I know I said that 1-mana cyclers are not good, but this gives a better buff. Gives it power and toughness, and gains a life. And trigger your life gain synergies. It's pretty decent. I don't mind it. I could see playing like a copy or two, but I'm gonna put it in just all right. Maybe kind of high up and just all right, like right here or something. All right, next up we have Efflorescence. It's 2 and a green for an instant. Put 2 1/1 counters on target creature. It's got Infusion. If you gain life this turn, that creature also gains Trample and Indestructible until end of turn. I don't love this. 3 mana for 2 1/1 counters at instant speed is really not great. The gaining life and like for it to guarantee survive combat or a removal spell, you have to gain life. Like this is not. You're gonna very rarely be able to use this to save a creature from a removal spell unless it's like a red-based burn spell. I think this is pretty bad. I wouldn't play it. It's not never put me in the deck. Type bad. But it's down there. Maybe it is never put me in the deck. I don't know. I just don't like this card. I don't think this is really a card's worth of value. For 3 mana? Yeah, I will say never put it in the deck. I think it's pretty bad. Alright. So we got Wild Hypothesis. It's X and a green for a sorcery. Create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token. Put X +1/+1 counters on it. Surveilled 2. So it's a 2 mana 1/1 Surveil 2, a 3 mana 2/2 Surveil 2. It's also got X in the cost, and there are some X synergies. I guess it's kind of nice with what green blue's trying to do, where you gotta spend enough mana to put counters on stuff, increment, that's it. It's still pretty subpar though. It's like curve filler. It's okay. I think begrudgingly playable, but I'd rather not. Yeah, I'll put it in that. All right. Next up, Tenured Concoctor. Tenured Concoctor. All right, so he's a 4 and a green, 5-drop, 4/5, Troll Druid. It's got Vigilance. Whenever this creature becomes a target of a spell or ability opponent controls, you may draw a card. Hello. Okay. Infusion. This creature gets +2/+0 as long as you gained life this turn. I like this guy. This is pretty good. It's a big body that if your opponent kills it, you draw a card, so it replaces itself. You get a 2-for-1. And it'll sometimes be a 6/5 Vigilance. This is pretty good. I like this. I like this card. I think this is one of green's better commons. I'll put it on the top common list. Next up, Shopkeeper's Bane. It's 2 and a green for a 4/2 Badger Pest. It's got Trample. Whenever this creature attacks, you gain 2 life. So it's meant for the Witherhold deck. 3 mana 4/2 Trample's not great. It's probably only going to get 1 attack in. And then it's going to die. It trades down a lot. I think this is kind of just a bad card. I am going to put it on the top if something went wrong. Well, no, this is probably begrudgingly playable. But I'd rather not at the bottom of that. Yeah, let's do that. All right, Noxious Newt. So it's, ooh, here we go. 1 in a green for a 1/2 Death Touch. Add green. This is going to be one of the best commons in the set. We saw how good the Frog Butler was in TMNT. This can't get reach, which makes it a little bit better. I'd rather have the ability to get reach than have it be a 1/2, but it blocks the 1/1 pests, which is pretty nice. That is relevant. So this is definitely going to be way up there. This is in contention for best. So it's either the bear or this guy for best common of each color. I think I like the bear a little more, but this is also quite good. I'd stick you like, well, you're a 5-drop. You probably deserve to be down there. Okay. All right, good card though. Very good. Next up, Mindful Biomancer. It's 1 in a green for a creature 2/2 Dryad Druid. That's fun. Dryad Druid. When this creature enters, you gain 1 life. Cool. This creature gets +2/+2 to end of turn. For 2 and a green, activate only once each turn. So ETBs trigger your life gain matter stuff. Can pump itself. It's a 2-drop. It's fine. It's decent. I think this is just all right. Just all right filler, but probably like the upper echelon just all right filler. Stick it like right up here. Although maybe it does usually make the deck. Let me think. Hmm. 2/2 when the ATBs you gain a life. I just don't think you really care about this in blue-green. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to leave it there. Next up, we have Hungry Graphalon. It's 3 and a green for 3/4 reach with increments. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast greater than this creature's power or toughness, but it won't count on this creature. I think this is bad. 4 mana for a 3/4 reach is really bad. It's very below par. Like you probably, it's got to be at least a 4/4 for it to be playable. And the way to make this bigger is to play a 5-drop. Yeah, I don't think I like this card at all. This is very, very begrudgingly playable. And actually, I think this is something went wrong if you put this in your deck. Yeah, I don't think you should play this card. Seems pretty bad to me. All right, up next, Glorious Decay. So it's 1 in a green for an instant. Choose one, destroy target artifact. Glorious Decay does 4 damage to target creature with flying. Exile target card from a graveyard. Draw a card. Hmm. I don't love it. I mean, usually these kind of modes cost 3. This costs 2, and it's an instant, but it doesn't even fully kill a flyer. It does 4 damage. There are some big flyers in this set. I think... Copy. I think you should not put this card in your deck. I mean, it does cycle itself. That's like the worst case scenario, but it's still pretty bad. Yeah, these modal type cards that kill flyers or destroy artifacts are usually not that great. I'm gonna put this at the top as something went wrong. This is in the deck. I don't think you should mainboard this. It's a good sideboard card if you're doing best of 3, but yeah, I think you probably shouldn't play it in the main deck. All right, next up, Follow the Lumerets. It's 1 in a green for a sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them. Put them into your hand. Creature or land card. Okay, put it into your hands. You put one in your hand. If you gain life this turn, you may instead reveal the creature and or land cards from among them. Oh, well, okay, let me reread this. If you gain life this turn, you may instead reveal 2 creatures and or land cards from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest in the bottom of your library in a random order. So if you gain life, it's like a 2 mana better draw 2. That's actually kind of decent. I can see playing one of these for sure in the Witherbloom decks. If you can gain life pretty easily. Looking at top 4 and putting 2 creatures or lands into your hand, it seems not bad. Okay. I'm going to say this is going to be at the top of just all right because it only goes in the green-black decks. I don't think you play it anywhere else, but it's going to be pretty good in those decks. Yeah. Up next, last green common. It's Barrage. 1 in the green for an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. If you cast another instant or sorcery spell this turn, then it deals damage equal to its power to up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. These are always pretty solid to good. It's removal for green. Is that the only common green removal spell? Yeah, I think so. Okay. But this is going to be pretty good. Probably top common. Or usually makes the deck. I put it top of usually makes the deck. All right. So now we just got, let me see. We did multicolored. So now we just got the colorless. So let's look here. We got Rancorous Archaic. 5 mana for a 2/2 trample reach. This creature enters with a 1/1 counter on it for each color of mana spent to cast it. So if you spend 3 colors of mana, it'll be a 5/5 trample reach for 5. That's not great. So you really want to spend 4 mana, 4 different colors of mana on it for it to be above rate. Which means I don't think this is just not like, this is not a reason to be multicolored. I could maybe see playing it if you can easily get 4 colors of mana, but otherwise it's probably on the top as something went wrong if this is in the deck. Maybe back here or something. All right, next up we have Page Loose Leaf. It's 2 mana for a creature construct. 0/2. It has tap, add colorless, and it's got Grandeur. Discard another card named Page Loose Leaf. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal an instant or sorcery card. Put that card to your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. This card's interesting. So it's kind of like a 2 mana rock, but it's easier to kill. It doesn't tap for any color of mana. I mean, the baseline is kind of okay. And then the Grandeur clause is interesting. If you have another one of these, you can reveal cards until you reveal instant or sorcery card. So it draws you a real card for free. I don't know how to evaluate this card. Actually seems kind of sick. If you have multiple copies, you just discard them and get a instant, like a kill spell or a draw spell or something. I like it. I actually kind of like it. And baseline is a mana dork. It's not horrible. It blocks the 1/1s. Where does this go, though? That's a question. I don't know where to... I mean, I guess it helps you ramp to 5, and 5 is kind of an important mana value in this set. I don't quite know how to... I don't think it usually makes the deck, but I think it makes the deck half the time. I'm going to stick it in the middle somewhere. All right. Next up, Mage Tower Referee. It's 2 mana for a 2/1 construct. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, put a 1/1 counter on this creature. Seems bad. You got to cast, what, 2 multicolored spells for you to be happy with this? It'll be a 4/3 for 2. Maybe in the Converge deck it's all right, but I think something went wrong if this is in your deck. It's a 2 mana 2/1 as a baseline. You know, it's not. It's like it can trade for something, but it's still pretty bad. Next up, we have Potioner's Trove. So 3 mana for an artifact. You can tap, add 1 mana of any color, or you can tap, gain 2 life. Activate only if you cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. Pretty great for the Converged decks, I think. Not great, but it's fine. I mean, 3 mana rocks are usually not super good. This one has upside. We've seen some of them with upside be pretty good. Dragon's Globe comes to mind. The one from Aether Drift was decent. I think it's not embarrassing. Question is, would you play this in a 2-color deck? I don't think you would. I'm going to say begrudgingly playable in the middle. Let's do that. All right. Last colorless common, Biblioplex Tome Keeper. It's 4 mana for a 3/4 construct. When it enters, choose up to 1. Target creature becomes prepared. Target creature becomes unprepared. So it's a way to re-prepare stuff. I don't think it's worth it. 4 mana for a 3/4 is bad. There's probably other things you can be doing with your mana. I don't want to say never put this in the deck, but I do think something went wrong if this is in the deck. Yeah, not a good card. All right, and then let's see. So we got lands. I mean, all these lands are going to be good. I don't know. I guess I'll throw them in the tier list, but dual lands are great and limited. You should grab them. Limited mana bases are always bad. So if you can fix your mana, make it better, you should. So these are just going to be like in top common tier. Because they're always going to make the deck, so. Copy. You know, I'm not gonna bother with it. Play dual lands. You should do it. All right, and then let's see. Okay, so I want to put what's the best color? What's the best common of each color? That's what we got to figure out. I like these two. I guess I'll say this as the red one. Yeah, I think hot take. I think Rebel Rouse is gonna be the best common. I could be totally wrong about that though. For the red cards, then for whites, what's the highest one I have? That guy. Elite Interceptor actually might be the best. It's between Stone and Docent. Oh, it could be Eager Glyph Mage, actually. 3 mana for 1/1 flying. I'm just going to go with the classic. Make 2 bodies card as the top common. And then for blue, it's one of these two. I'm just going to be a coward and say it's going to be the top and bottom spell. All right. I think that's it for the tier list. Michaels. How do you save these? Download. Sick. Download image. Sure. All right, that's going to be it. This is the tier list. I could be wrong, could be right. Who knows? We'll find out. But thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. I'm going to hop off, eat some food. It'll be great. Have a nice day now. Take it easy.